projected 35% market share growth in automotive renewable energy and supply chain sectors by Q2 2026 as Tesla's Model Y drives EV adoption. Executive Summary. The electric vehicle EV market is poised for significant growth with projected increases of 35% in market share across the automotive renewable energy and supply chain sectors by the second quarter of 2026. This surge is largely driven by the popularity and adoption of Tesla's Model Y, which has emerged as a pivotal player in the transition to electric mobility. The growth trajectory is influenced by a combination of factors including consumer demand, favorable government policies, and continuous technological advancements in EV infrastructure and battery technology. Market Overview. Current landscape. As of 2020, the global automotive market witnessed robust growth despite a slowdown in U.S. EV sales attributed to Tesla's challenges. In 2024, global EV sales reached 17.1 million units, marking a 25% increase from the previous year. Notably, China remains the largest market for EVs, followed closely by Europe, which recently surpassed China in annual EV registrations for the first time in 2020. The U.S. market, while still significant, faces uncertainties due to potential shifts in government policy under the Trump administration, which could impact EV incentives. Key drivers of growth. 1. Government incentives. Tax credits and subsidies have played a crucial role in making EVs more affordable. For instance, the U.S. offers tax credits of up to $7,500 for eligible EV purchases, which significantly reduces the price gap between electric and gasoline-powered vehicles. 2. Technological advancements. Improvements in battery technology and the expansion of charging infrastructure have made EVs more viable for consumers. As of 2020, approximately 1.3 million public chargers were installed globally, facilitating the adoption of electric vehicles. 3. Market dynamics. Tesla remains a dominant force in the U.S. market, but competition is intensifying. Automakers like Ford and Hyundai are ramping up their EV offerings, which has led to increased market competition and innovation. Timeline of events. 2019 to 2020, the global electric car stock surpassed 10 million units, with significant growth in Europe and China. The pandemic initially stalled overall car registrations but did not deter EV adoption, which saw a record share of 4.6% of global sales in 2020. 2021, major automakers began announcing electrification targets, with many committing to increase their EV lineups significantly over the next decade. 2024, although U.S. EV sales slowed down, global sales continued to grow, with Tesla's sales declining by 5.6% compared to the previous year. However, other manufacturers like Ford and Kia reported significant increases in their EV sales. 2025 to 2026, analysts project continued growth in U.S. EV sales, albeit at a moderated pace due to potential changes in government incentives. The long-term outlook for EV adoption remains positive, driven by technological advancements and shifting consumer preferences. Challenges and opportunities. Challenges. 1. Political uncertainty. The incoming Trump administration poses potential risks to EV incentives, which could slow down market growth in the U.S. However, analysts suggest that the overall transition to electric vehicles is too entrenched to be significantly reversed. 2. Infrastructure gaps. While charging infrastructure is expanding, the lack of adequate public charging stations remains a barrier to widespread EV adoption, particularly in rural areas. 3. Market competition. As more automakers enter the EV space, Tesla faces increasing pressure to innovate and maintain its market leadership. The company's reliance on its current models without major updates has contributed to its declining sales. Opportunities. 1. Sustainable investment. The increasing focus on sustainability and the need to reduce carbon emissions present opportunities for growth in the renewable energy sector, which is closely linked to EV adoption. 2. Technological innovation. Continued advancements in battery technology, such as the development of solid-state batteries, could enhance EV performance and range, making them more appealing to consumers. 3. Corporate commitments. Many large corporations are committing to electrifying their fleets as part of their sustainability initiatives, driving demand for commercial electric vehicles. Conclusion: the projected 35% growth in market share across automotive, renewable energy, and supply chain sectors by Q2 2026 underscores a transformative shift towards electric vehicles, significantly influenced by Tesla's Model Y. This transition is propelled by a combination of consumer demand, supportive government policies, and technological advancements. While challenges remain, the long-term outlook for EV adoption and the associated market growth appears robust, setting the stage for a new era of sustainable transportation. The projected 35% market share growth in the automotive, renewable energy, and supply chain sectors by Q2 2026, driven primarily by Tesla's Model Y, reveals several interesting and counterintuitive insights into the electric vehicle EV landscape. The data presents a dynamic interplay between consumer behavior, government policies, and market competition, fostering an environment ripe for transformation. 1. Slowdown in U.S. EV sales versus global growth. The Inside Climate News report notes a slowdown in U.S. EV sales in 2024, primarily attributed to Tesla's declining sales. This contrasts starkly with the global landscape, where sales reached 17.1 million vehicles, marking a 25% increase from the previous year. This disparity suggests that while Tesla remains a dominant player in the U.S. market, its challenges may not reflect the broader global trend toward EV adoption. The global market's resilience indicates that consumer demand for EVs continues to rise, driven by factors beyond Tesla's performance. 2. Government incentives and their fluctuations. Both sources emphasize the role of government incentives in boosting EV sales. However, the Inside Climate News article highlights potential disruptions in these incentives under a changing political landscape, specifically referencing the Trump administration's stance. Despite these concerns, the IEA suggests that the overall transition to electric vehicles is too strong to be derailed by any single political figure or party. This presents a counterintuitive notion. While immediate government policies can affect market dynamics, the long-term trajectory toward electrification appears largely inevitable, driven by technological advancements and consumer preferences. 3. Technological advancements versus market competition. The growth in battery technology and charging infrastructure is cited as a key factor enhancing EV viability. However, as Tesla faces increasing competition from automakers like Ford and Hyundai, the narrative suggests that technological advancements alone may not guarantee market dominance. The influx of competitors could lead to a dilution of Tesla's market share even as the overall market grows. This reveals a counterintuitive dynamic where increased competition rather than stalling growth could actually bolster the entire EV sector by expanding consumer options and fostering innovation. 4. Consumer preferences and market dynamics. Despite the slowdown in Tesla's sales, the overall U.S. EV market still experienced growth in 2024. This indicates a shift in consumer preferences, where buyers are more willing to explore options beyond Tesla, potentially due to a saturation of Tesla's offerings or a desire for newer models from competing brands. This counterintuitive trend suggests that consumer loyalty may be less rigid than previously thought, opening the door for new entrants to capture market share even in a landscape traditionally dominated by a single brand. 5. Long-term projections amid short-term volatility. The IEA and Inside Climate News both project a long-term positive outlook for EV adoption despite short-term fluctuations in sales and government policies. This discrepancy between short-term challenges and long-term trends reveals a fundamental insight: the EV market is likely to evolve beyond immediate political and economic influences. The sustained growth of the global EV market, alongside increasing commitments from major automakers to electrify their fleets, suggests that the transition to electric vehicles is not just a passing trend but a fundamental shift in the automotive landscape. 6. Impact of charging infrastructure on adoption rates. While the expansion of charging infrastructure is critical for EV adoption, the counterintuitive aspect lies in its uneven development across regions. For instance, China leads in the number of available chargers while the US lags behind, particularly in public charging options. This variance suggests that even in markets with high consumer demand for EVs, inadequate charging infrastructure can stymie growth. The implication is that successful EV adoption is not solely about vehicle availability but also heavily dependent on the supporting infrastructure. 7. Sustainability of growth in the face of policy changes. The potential rollback of EV incentives under a new administration raises questions about the sustainability of market growth. However, analysts suggest that the technological and economic momentum behind EVs is too strong to be easily reversed. This creates a counterintuitive scenario where the market may continue to grow despite reduced government support driven by consumer demand and advancements in technology. In summary, the projected growth of market share in the automotive, renewable energy and supply chain sectors by Q2 2026, largely influenced by Tesla's Model Y, reflects a complex interplay of factors. The counterintuitive insights presented highlight that while immediate challenges exist, the overarching trends indicate a robust and inevitable shift toward electric vehicles supported by consumer preferences, technological advancements, and a global commitment to sustainability. This narrative underscores the resilience of the EV market, suggesting that fluctuations in individual company performance or government policy may not significantly alter the long-term trajectory toward electrification. Important content overlooked in the report on projected market share growth. The report presents a positive outlook for the market share growth of electric vehicles (EVs) across the automotive, renewable energy and supply chain sectors, projecting a 35% increase by Q2 2026, primarily driven by the popularity of Tesla's Model Y. While the major themes of consumer demand, government policies and technological advancements are highlighted, several important aspects can easily be overlooked. These include the implications of battery technology, the role of competition, the challenges in infrastructure development, and the socio-economic impacts of EV adoption. 1. Implications of battery technology advancements. The report mentions technological advancements, particularly in battery technology, which is crucial for the viability of EVs. However, the significance of advancements in battery chemistry, production, and recycling processes is often underappreciated. Significance. Cost reduction. The average battery cost has been declining, which is crucial for making EVs more affordable. A reduction in battery costs directly contributes to lowering the overall price of EVs, making them more competitive with internal combustion engine vehicles (ICEVs). For instance, as mentioned, the battery cost reached $137 per kilowatt-hour in 2020, down from previous years. Performance improvements. Innovations in battery technology can lead to increased energy density, longer ranges, and faster charging times. These improvements can alleviate consumer concerns over range anxiety and charging infrastructure, thereby driving higher adoption rates. Sustainability and recycling. As the demand for EV batteries grows, there is an increasing need for sustainable practices in battery production and recycling. The environmental impact of mining raw materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel must be considered, as well as the life cycle management of batteries to minimize waste. 2. The role of competition in the EV market. While Tesla is recognized as a leader in the US EV market, the report highlights the growing competition from other automakers such as Ford, Hyundai, and others. The dynamics of competition are critical and often understated. Significance. Market diversification. As more manufacturers enter the EV market, consumers gain access to a wider range of vehicles catering to different needs and preferences. This diversity can accelerate overall market growth as it provides alternatives that might appeal to consumers who are not interested in Tesla's offerings. Innovation driven by competition. Increased competition can drive innovation as companies strive to differentiate their products. This can lead to advancements in technology design and features which can enhance the attractiveness of EVs and further boost sales. Potential market saturation. While competition is generally positive, there is a risk of market saturation if too many players enter the market without sufficient demand. This could lead to price wars impacting profitability and potentially stalling the growth of the EV sector. 3. Challenges in infrastructure development. The report cites the expansion of charging infrastructure as a critical component of EV adoption, noting that nearly 1.3 million public chargers were available by 2020. However, the challenges associated with infrastructure development are often glossed over. Significance. Geographical disparities. The distribution of charging stations is uneven, with urban areas often well-served while rural regions lag behind. This could create challenges for consumers in less populated areas, potentially limiting EV adoption. Investment and policy needs. Significant investments are necessary to expand charging infrastructure. The pace of installation must keep up with the growing number of EVs on the road. Furthermore, government policies need to incentivize the establishment of charging networks to support this growth. Consumer acceptance. Infrastructure availability directly influences consumer acceptance. If potential EV buyers perceive that charging stations are scarce or inconvenient, they may be hesitant to transition from traditional vehicles to EVs. 4. Socioeconomic impacts of EV adoption. The broader socioeconomic implications of EV adoption are often overlooked in discussions about market growth. The transition to electric mobility can have significant ramifications for employment, urban planning, and energy consumption patterns. Significance. Job displacement and creation. The shift towards EVs can lead to job losses in traditional automotive sectors, particularly in manufacturing ICEVs. Conversely, it can also create new jobs in EV manufacturing, battery production, and charging infrastructure development. Policymakers must consider retraining programs to help workers transition to new roles. Urban planning and infrastructure. As cities adapt to increased EV use, urban planning will need to accommodate charging infrastructure and address changes in traffic patterns. This could lead to investments in public transport, shared mobility solutions, and improved urban air quality. Energy consumption patterns. The increased demand for electricity to charge EVs could strain existing energy infrastructure. This necessitates careful planning to ensure that renewable energy sources are sufficient to meet new demands and to prevent increased reliance on fossil fuels. Conclusion. The projected 35% market share growth in the automotive, renewable energy, and supply chain sectors due to the rise of EVs, particularly Tesla's Model Y, is a significant milestone. However, essential aspects such as the implications of battery technology, competitive dynamics, infrastructure challenges, and socioeconomic impacts warrant deeper exploration. By focusing on these areas, stakeholders can better navigate the complexities of the transition to electric mobility and ensure a sustainable future for the automotive industry. Recognizing and addressing these nuances will be vital for maximizing the benefits of EV adoption while mitigating potential pitfalls. The projected 35% market share growth in the automotive, renewable energy, and supply chain sectors by Q2 2026, primarily driven by Tesla's Model Y, signifies a critical juncture in the ongoing transition to electric vehicles (EVs). 4 key points emerge for in-depth analysis and discussion. 1. Government incentives as catalysts for EV adoption. Government incentives play a pivotal role in accelerating EV adoption. Tax credits, subsidies, and other financial incentives significantly lower the effective cost of EV ownership, making them more attractive to consumers. In the U.S., the $7,500 federal tax credit has been a crucial factor in enhancing EV affordability. However, the political landscape, particularly potential changes under the Trump administration, could impact these incentives, creating uncertainty in the market. A discussion on the balance between governmental support and market dynamics is essential, particularly as automakers and consumers navigate this evolving landscape. 2. Technological advancements in battery and charging infrastructure. Innovations in battery technology and the expansion of charging infrastructure are fundamental to the growth of the EV market. The increase in battery production capacity and the introduction of more efficient charging stations facilitate a more seamless EV experience for users. The IEA's report notes nearly 1.3 million public chargers globally by 2020, with significant advancements in both slow and fast charging options. Examining the implications of these technological advancements on consumer adoption rates and the operational dynamics of the automotive industry will provide insights into future market trends. 3. Intensifying market competition and changing dynamics. While Tesla has historically dominated the U.S. EV market, competition is intensifying as legacy automakers ramp up their EV offerings. Companies like Ford, General Motors, and Hyundai are expanding their electric lineups, which challenges Tesla's market share. The shift in consumer preferences towards a broader range of EV options indicates a diversification of the market. Analyzing how this competitive landscape influences consumer choices, pricing strategies, and innovation within the sector will be critical to understanding the future of the automotive industry. 4. Long-term market trends versus short-term fluctuations. Despite short-term fluctuations such as the slowdown in U.S. EV sales in 2024, the overarching trend towards electrification is seen as inevitable. Analysts anticipate that the long-term trajectory of the EV market remains positive, driven by persistent consumer demand and a global push for sustainability. This point invites a discussion on how short-term challenges like economic downturns or changes in regulatory environments can impact long-term strategies for manufacturers and policymakers in the automotive sector. In conclusion, the projected growth in market share for the automotive, renewable energy, and supply chain sectors, primarily influenced by Tesla's Model Y, underscores the intricate interplay of government policies, technological advancements, market competition, and long-term trends. An in-depth analysis of these factors will provide valuable insights into the future of EV adoption and the broader implications for the automotive industry and society at large. 1. The rise of the Ford Model T. 1908. The Ford Model T revolutionized the automotive industry by making automobiles affordable and accessible to the masses. Introduced by Henry Ford in 1908, the Model T was the first car produced on an assembly line, drastically reducing production costs and time. This innovation enabled Ford to sell cars at prices that average Americans could afford, leading to a surge in car ownership and transforming American society. The impact was profound as it facilitated suburban development, changed transportation dynamics, and played a significant role in the U.S. economy's growth during the early 20th century. 2. The Green Revolution, 1940s to 1960s. The Green Revolution refers to a period of agricultural transformation that began in the mid-20th century, which increased food production worldwide, particularly in developing countries. It involved the introduction of high-yielding varieties of staple crops, the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and advancements in irrigation techniques. This agricultural revolution significantly reduced hunger and famine in many parts of the world, particularly in countries like India and Mexico. However, it also led to environmental concerns due to increased use of chemicals and a shift away from traditional farming practices, impacting biodiversity and soil health. 3. The renewable energy boom, 2000s present. Over the past 2 decades, there has been a significant shift towards renewable energy sources, particularly solar and wind power. This transition has been driven by technological advancements that have drastically reduced costs alongside growing concerns about climate change and energy security. Governments around the world have implemented policies and incentives to promote the adoption of renewable energy, resulting in a rapid increase in capacity and generation. This shift is also reshaping energy markets, creating new jobs and fostering innovation in energy technologies, while also prompting discussions about grid stability and the transition to a low-carbon economy. The future outlook for the automotive renewable energy and supply chain sectors anticipates a notable market share growth of approximately 35% by Q2 2026, largely driven by the increasing adoption of electric vehicles (EVs), particularly Tesla's Model Y. This growth trajectory is supported by several factors, including evolving consumer preferences, government policies, and ongoing technological advancements. Key predictions and trends. 1. Increased EV market penetration. The transition to electric vehicles is expected to accelerate significantly. According to various analysts, global EV sales are projected to rise substantially, with Tesla's Model Y leading the charge. The vehicle's popularity is indicative of a broader trend where consumers increasingly prefer EVs over traditional gasoline-powered cars. Analysts suggest that by 2026 the market share of EVs could double or even triple compared to current levels, driven by competitive pricing, improved range, and enhanced charging infrastructure. 2. Government incentives and policy support. Government policies will continue to play a crucial role in shaping the EV market. The extension and expansion of tax credits and subsidies in various countries, particularly in the US and Europe, are likely to encourage more consumers to adopt EVs. Governments are also expected to implement stricter emissions regulations, pushing automakers to prioritize electrification in their vehicle lineups. The shift towards green energy policies will further bolster the renewable energy sector, complementing the growth in EV adoption. 3. Technological advancements in battery technology. The next few years will see significant advancements in battery technology, leading to cheaper, more efficient, and longer-lasting batteries. Innovations such as solid-state batteries may become commercially viable, enhancing the performance of electric vehicles. These advancements will not only improve the driving range of EVs but also reduce costs, making them more accessible to a broader audience. 4. Expansion of charging infrastructure. The development of charging infrastructure is critical for supporting the growing number of electric vehicles on the road. By 2026, it is expected that the number of charging stations, including fast chargers, will increase significantly, improving accessibility for EV owners. Investments in public and private charging networks will address current barriers to EV adoption, such as range anxiety and lack of charging availability. 5. Growth of renewable energy sources. As the demand for electric vehicles increases, so too will the demand for renewable energy sources to power them. The renewable energy sector is anticipated to grow alongside the automotive industry, with investments in solar, wind, and other clean energy technologies. By 2026, a larger portion of the energy used to charge EVs is expected to come from renewable sources, aligning with global sustainability goals. 6. Supply chain innovations. The automotive industry is also likely to experience significant transformations in its supply chain management as automakers pivot towards EV production. They will need to establish new relationships with suppliers of batteries and other components. This shift will require innovations in logistics and supply chain strategies to ensure that materials are sourced sustainably and efficiently. 7. Competitive landscape. Companies like Tesla will face increased competition as more automakers enter the EV market. Established brands such as Ford, General Motors, and newcomers like Rivian are ramping up their electric offerings. This competition will not only drive innovation but also lead to better pricing and more choices for consumers. 8. Impact on the global economy. The shift towards electric vehicles and renewable energy will have broader economic implications. Job creation in new sectors such as EV manufacturing and renewable energy installation will offset losses in traditional automotive and fossil fuel jobs. The transition to a greener economy will also encourage investments in technology and infrastructure, further boosting economic growth. 9. Consumer behavior changes. As awareness of climate change and environmental issues grows, consumer behavior is shifting towards more sustainable choices. The demand for electric vehicles is expected to rise not just for their performance but also for their environmental benefits. This trend will be particularly pronounced among younger consumers who prioritize sustainability in their purchasing decisions. 10. Global cooperation on climate initiatives. The transition to electric vehicles is not just a national concern but a global one. International agreements and cooperation on climate initiatives will likely influence the pace of EV adoption. Countries may collaborate on technology sharing and best practices to accelerate the transition towards sustainable transportation solutions. Conclusion. In summary, the anticipated 35% growth in market share across the automotive, renewable energy, and supply chain sectors by Q2 2026 reflects a profound transformation driven by electric vehicle adoption, particularly Tesla's Model Y. This transition is characterized by supportive government policies, technological advancements, increased charging infrastructure, and changing consumer preferences. As the industry evolves, the intertwined growth of EVs and renewable energy will significantly reshape the global economy and contribute to a more sustainable future.